You want to watch Deep Blue Sea 3?
I didn't know there was a Deep Blue Sea 2.
Alright guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Deep Blue Sea 2. 2018's Deep Blue Sea 2. Lee, had you seen it before?
I'd seen Deep Blue Sea 1, and you, like me, may have thought there's more than one Deep Blue Sea movie? And there is. How far apart are these two movies? Almost 20 years?
Let's see. At least 15, I want to say.
Right? Because I feel like Deep Blue Sea, the original, is around the 2000 time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 years later is Deep Blue Sea 3.
2 years after this?
Yeah.
So, like, now, 2020?
Yep.
Why are they still making Deep Blue Seas? What are they doing? Did someone just buy the rights? Do you even know,
Well, the gentleman that made this one was like, oh, I just want to take that movie and change it from an action and make it into a real horror.
This movie? This movie.
Don't spoil it, Lee.
Okay, that's important to know. I wish I'd known that going in. I could have checked off the boxes.
Yeah. This is like an African-filmed movie, as you may have detected from
South
some
African.
accents.
Yeah.
And so this movie is not what necessarily you would expect going into a sequel to Deep Blue Sea. It is not directly tied in any way. It is just, there are sharks. They are in the sea. It is blue, and I suppose it is deep. And that is kind of where the similarities go.
I mean,
they're also doing drug trials on sharks.
We're spoiling things. I was going to say, there's like a thematic similarity between like, oh, you thought you could master nature, but involving sharks, and it turns out the shoe's on the other foot. It's got that vibe. But yes, other than that, there's no connection, because how could there be? And it's been so long. This is very unusual. Usually we would watch maybe even 2 or 3, but it came out 2 years after the original one.
Yes,
20 years ago. And this is like one of them long-term sequels where like I didn't even know that while I was watching it. When I saw 2018, I started freaking out. How is it 2018?
It feels kind of like a parody of the first movie.
Yeah.
With like character choices, it's like, oh, that's this person, this is that person. There you go. We've checked the boxes. Here you are.
You could tell there was like an effort to kind of mimic the original whatever paradigm setup, whatever.
But cheaper.
The
movie's not bad. I will say it's worth watching. I'll say check it out if you've seen the first one. Definitely see where they went, because that's humorous.
I mean, I think it's
you're not going to walk away blown away though.
I was going to say I think it's fascinating. I think it's like I think it's bad, but it's like inoffensively bad. And if you like movies with sharks or something, I guess watch it. But you probably already saw it. You're probably super stoked in 2017 when it was like, oh, they're making more. I can't wait, sharks. And you came back and like watched it then, right? But
this one was a sleeper for me though, where I didn't hear anything about it, and then it was just out, and I was like, oh, we're ordering that.
And it's not a sci-fi thing, right? It's its own thing.
No, I believe this was its own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it's even got that going for it, where it's not like these creature feature, killer animal type movies were kind of picked up by Sci-Fi or Asylum or whatever, some sort of unit now.
The CG is pretty decent.
Well, like it's bad, but not in the same ways that every other creature feature from whatever time frame is bad. So that's a little interesting. And the fascinating thing of like someone bought Deep Blue Sea, like script rights or screenplay rights, and said, we're making another one. Oh, how are you gonna mix it up? I'm not. Just more Deep Blue Sea. Going back to the Deep Blue Sea, baby. And it's got this weird little other vibe going on. So whatever.
So we're gonna go into spoilers right now. So if you've seen this or don't care, follow us over there. And if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
Alright guys, here we are for the spoilers of Deep Blue Sea 2. So Lee, give me your spoiler-filled thoughts on Deep Blue Sea 2.
To be clear, I did hate this movie.
It's not great.
I usually divide, I take notes a bit, and I usually divide it into like the good and the bad.
Okay.
And I realized 20 minutes in where I'm like, it's just one category. It's just stuff I like that are bad. Like it's not like there's nothing good. And there's nothing so bad where I'm like, oh, I can't believe they expected me to, like, no, it's just the movie.
There are a lot of just sins of the movie itself where I'm like, okay, you stated one thing, and then a moment later did something else. Like they look out of like the port windows they're in like this wet pool room, and they look to the left, and you see a person floating 100% dead, and like you're like, oh, they've been ripped apart. Oh God. Oh, we're trapped in here. All the chambers are flooded. And then like the wet pool, like somehow they're like, oh, we've lost power. Oh no, the pressure. And the water shoots in. Somehow opening the doors, you have to spin the fucking things to pull them open, and they fly out into the hallways, which are now not flooded 100%. So somehow losing pressure from losing power, which that's not how pressure works. If you're in a room that
there's a pump that's like causing the power.
No, but once you've sealed those rooms, it's like a submarine. If you took a cup and just put it underwater like this, it would hold a pocket of air. That's the whole premise of a wet pool room.
There may need to be there may be valves or something that have to keep a negative pressure.
No, I believe they're purposely designed for an event where you could lose power to not fail.
They should be.
Also, in a situation where multiple times they're like, we spared no expense, having unlimited funds, we're so rich, oh my God. And then like simple things of like, why didn't you put the sharks in a cage? Why are they just in an open fucking containing area?
No. We have a foolproof system, which is just an electrified fence, which they tunnel under. Sharks can do that? I don't know that sharks can, but that's pretty obviously
or like
a flaw,
simple things
right?
you could Google, like our shark specialist, our sharkadeliologist, whatever the fuck she is. She like looks out the window and she goes, oh my God, those are bull sharks. Bull sharks can't be in containment.
Those are bull sharks. What are you guys doing with bull sharks in containment?
You're like, I'm pretty sure they're in aquariums. Then I look it up and I'm like, yep, they are.
like the movie should have looked things
up.
Yeah, I think one of them also says like a bull shark's bite is 10 times as strong as a great white's, and like that's not true at all either.
I know they are aggressive, and they can be in fresh water, which makes them more dangerous.
And like the bite force is like you know like scales differently. It it is higher, but it's like 20% higher, not like 1,000%.
1,000 would be like, what are they made of?
Right.
Like at a certain point, your like body would shatter. They create black holes by biting. Like
they can turn coal into diamonds. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it would literally be like some like the cartilage and teeth could not withstand it if they were that 10 times. It's great. It's great.
But like those stupid things, or there was one part where like there's two guys that are in like the same fucking room. One is on a bunk bed and one is in a bathroom.
Yeah.
But it's the same cabin. They're in the same room, and you hear a minor creaking sound, which is supposed to imply that like the world is pitching to one side or something, because all of a sudden water starts flooding over the top of the fucking shower thing. But the guy in the bed just like, nothing's happening, I'm fine, whatever.
Then he starts
you don't see the water rise, the water's not all from the hallway shifting to that room. You're like, how is the water coming in? How is he dying?
There are so many scenes where you can tell they were just like, okay, what's happening? Okay, are you sure? Well, it'll be fine, don't worry about it, we got it. We're going to film it a certain way, it's going to be great. And
we have 3 hallways, but we have lots of lights.
Do you think they have 3?
I think they have 3.
I feel like it's 1.5.
I think they have like a C. Because they can get this, that, and this, whatever. But it's like, okay, we have green emergency lights. We have red emergency lights. We have blue emergency lights. And we can use them as much as we want.
I'm glad you mentioned this. So we're doing everything out of sequence. But I usually
this movie is such a mind fuck that I can't literally go through it.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't. I usually comment on like colored lighting. I'm a huge fan of that or whatever. And somewhere in my notes that I'm not referencing, I literally wrote down that everyone gets separated and they use colored lighting, but it can't even save it. It's still so dumb and confusing, and I have no idea what's going on.
How do they even get just think about the separation thing.
Yeah.
Like, every single hallway had to open once the pressure fucking built, and they all just got shot different directions.
Hey man, pressure, yeah.
At least one hallway has to be 100% flooded because we saw it all the way to the roof.
And we see the corpse like floating, which we were talking about.
Where did that come from? Where did the sharks got in instantly? I might add, they dropped this pregnant baby, birthing shark into the water, and let's say the second she hit the water, she gave birth. Those sharks then found a way in and killed that guy, like pretty much instantly.
Like after it breached and had a thing. Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. And those are like some of the worst things because that's like a sloppiness thing where it's the whole thing. There's a part, this might be my favorite stupid thing, where like, okay, so we haven't established any of the characters.
And they're so not important. You don't like any of them. Do you like any of them?
No.
Why would you?
I like the nerd.
Did you?
Yes. So you mentioned Shark Lady, right? She's our sharkologist.
Sharks are an extremely
extremely important part of our ocean's ecosystem.
Yes.
We also have Shark Man. He's our shark wrangler, shark
He's
hunter.
he's
guy or
slash
something.
everything.
Yes,
he
was
runs
in-
the facility.
was in
He
the,
builds the things.
was
He
in the
controls
service.
this. He does the boat.
Yeah, he can do like welding. He's like an expert fisher or something. Or like
He's
like
a trainer.
seaman or whatever. Yeah,
I'm sure he's the accountant. Like
he's also John on John Dies. At the end.
Oh
which
my
is
God.
very disturbing.
I
But
hated that movie.
Let's not dwell on that. Then we have Durant, who is our not Elon Musk, but he's like
he's our Samuel L. Jackson character.
Well, yes, in a way, and he's also black. It's fine.
I love your passion.
But
Well,
so,
he's the rich benefactor of the whole thing.
yes,
but
he's not like visiting or something to like oversee. He's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
there, whatever. The point is, right? Those three people are like together in some way. The chick's in like a green hallway, and we have the other two men outside, right? And he proceeds to bash the like twisty part of the door
Yes.
off, and then says, "They're not gonna follow us now."
What are you doing? You might have just killed her! Those baby sharks won't get to us now.
Like he imagines the sharks twisting the thing to get in. Like it's the dumbest thing in the world. I thought about this for quite some time.
I thought he meant the people.
He said the sharks aren't going to get us now. That was his like whole point of the whole thing. And then she comes to the door, and like Shark Man has to say, "It's jammed. I'm sorry." Like she couldn't open
Yeah.
it anyway. There's so many things dumb and wrong with that. Just to have the scene where it's like you're so worried about computers and robots, but like from where I'm sitting, man is the real monster.
Man against machine! You are so paranoid that machines, robots, computers are gonna wipe us out. But let me tell you something. From what I've seen, man is the real threat. Man is the real problem.
And meanwhile, you have okay, because that's the plot of this whole movie is Durant, who's Black Manta's dad in Aquaman. Manta's dad. Yeah. He is like, oh, we're going to hit the AI singularity and then humans are going to be obsolete. So we got to inject shark semen into our brains.
No, we got to
make us
eat little
smarter.
comically small vials of non-refrigerated shark goo that are going to make us see schematics and
Yo,
science.
you see like weird, seeing science is the perfect, it's like molecule charts and
Yeah.
weird, code I think is in there. And he's like, just like drinking this tiny little
It's like
vial.
too small. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, what even is this?
You needed to have a little, like a little
But I
thing
think what
going
it
like
was
that.
is that it makes him see the science he needs at the moment, because the second time he takes it, he sees like the schematics of the building. He's like, they installed rungs in the ladders. I can climb.
Did
Like,
you think that's what was happening?
I think so.
Oh man, I
because
didn't
when he
get
took it
that
the first
from it,
time,
but
he was like still trying to crack we gotta get this smaller and blah blah and take over blah blah.
I saw like H2O, like CO2.
I think that was
like
in the
weird-
first one.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the first. But he didn't need to know basic high school chemistry then, did he?
That's just what the guy who was like, make some sort of overlay. How do we
Yeah.
communicate it's doing something? I don't know.
Throw some science at
science.
me, dog. Yeah, he did. He did Google image search
Yeah.
for science drug trip and like pension. That is okay. No, that's my favorite scene. I was talking about like good bad stuff because they're arguing after he like. I keep thinking he goes and like injects
That
himself.
would be too good.
But he doesn't with the little gun where like screws in the top. Those little vials I think are like for a gun that screws into the top and you like inject it. No, that's the scene. He's like arguing with somebody else and he's like, "You've gone too far." He's like, "I haven't gone far enough." And don't worry, I can just kill all these sharks once I'm done. I will kill all the sharks. Can you hear me? I will kill all the sharks.
I created them, and once my research is completed, I will end them. What does that mean?
And then it cuts.
This is the dumbest thing ever.
The
yes.
shark is at the little porthole. Its eye. It's like looking
It's
in.
spying
It's like
on him.
eavesdropping on them. It's so amazing. And you might think, oh, this movie's crazy because the shark eavesdrops on them and then decides to get its revenge. None of that happens at all. That's not the plot of the movie, is it? Is that the plot of the movie?
Well,
they do knock some stuff over, like up top. But the babies are not a part of the plan, right? She's not like, oh, I'm gonna
she
get
has
pregnant.
the power
Yeah.
to talk to all the sharks, they say.
Yes.
So presumably she can also talk to the babies.
True,
and whether,
communicating.
And
Okay.
whether they are physically following her orders or just killing things, her plan was revenge, as far
Okay.
as I understand it. It was, oh, you're going to kill all of us? fuck that. And then like systematically they start attacking and knocking things over. One uses his fucking shark fin as a knife and like frees a boat that happens to perfectly drift into the fucking smallest generator in the world that powers this whole facility.
And they knock over like barrels or something, right? Like a fire or some explosion.
Why would
happens.
that be topside? Why would like this is the thing that powers us be like exposed to the elements?
There would be like a little pipe sticking up or something to like exhaust the generator.
I'm sure it would be underwater just because it would be cooler for the giant amount of nuclear fucking power it would take to do this thing.
There's probably like sea station generating like technology.
Oh yeah, they use those wave things that just use like literally the ocean to power stuff.
Thing to do it. Yeah, the outside looks so scuffed. It's like
nothing.
It's like a V platform. Most of the movie takes
with a
place
shed on it.
Yeah, with like a little shed, a couple barrels, and like a little dinghy or something, right? It's like very shitty. Inside's all like a soundstage, like you said. They have a T or a C or some hallway shape, which they abuse and reuse constantly for most of what's happening. And then the wave pool room, and it's basically it. Right?
It's like a thing where it's built on the thing, and like they're filming it from above at times, so you can see them look straight down at it. They had a weird like pump that's doing the water in the thing, because like I saw a thing about the behind the scenes thing where they were saying that it was the middle of like the dry season in Cape Town or whatever, and they had to recycle the water, so they couldn't use blood ever because it would stain the water. So like anytime you see someone use an effect, it's like a waterproofed effect on them or digital overlay of stuff on them, and you can tell when it's the digital stuff.
So when there's like a doctor scientist couple, and the husband has to watch the wife die on the other side of the porthole. This brings back memories of The Abyss and other such amazing. No, it's like a horrible. Yes, horrible like comparison to make. And yeah, her face is all CG, right? When she has her teeth showing and all stuff. Yeah, it's super horrible.
And so, it shows like that that this is a set they built, like because Deep Blue Sea is like this amazing thing where it's like a submarine base or something they're filming in. Like that's like a amazing like set looking thing, while this is like a spaceship.
Yeah, it feels lived in. My memories of Deep Blue Sea are of course the scene. Samuel L. Jackson.
Sure.
Giving like a baller speech, right? And he's like, "We're gonna shape up and do this, and we're gonna work together." And he just gets
First, we'll seal off this pool. I'm dead.
Yeah. Step one is the pool I'm standing next to this whole time. We must seal it up because they could get in here. And it gets pulled down the thing.
We got it through the pool, killing this one too. A man gets his head bumped off.
But it's like the worst. His head gets like literally just like just knocked off of his body by the shark. Just bites only his head. Right?
Yes.
But I feel like that is a homage thing there, right? But yeah, the first movie feels more lived in. They have all those scenes in like the kitchen or the mess hall or like weird rooms where you're like, oh, what's that and all that. Here, like
it's a real place. They have things. They didn't have to build each.
But there's like a little thing of like mustard or something. It's like a weird like, it's not supposed to be flooded. Here, like the nerd, like you're talking about before when the other guy dies, he's on a tiny raft, and that's like enough to save his life. He's just like paddling.
Well, later that raft gets like popped, and he just like runs through the water away from the babies. How about the girl with the torch? I'll save you. I'm like, what the fuck is that doing? She doesn't kill a single thing. No. It doesn't deter them at all. They swim right around her and they kill the other guy.
It demonstrably does nothing. She's using the torch, like the magnesium where you can put it under the water or whatever, right? And trying to and they are like juking around her, and it keeps cutting to them flooding into this little mailbox slot on the door just to pour in to chase her friends. The baby sharks are amazing. They are like a cloud of piranhas. Right? Yeah. So you have like CG under the water, just literally take the like model of the big shark and just shrink it down, which I think in all fairness is how sharks are. That's fine. Yeah. Right? Just kind of darting around. Then up top you just see bubbles, right? And then it's like the bubbles are moving closer to you.
Jets of air horrible shooting around. That's what they are.
There's one scene where they pop out in different ways, and I was like, oh, it's like jumping beans. It's like a freaking just
that guy who's hanging on the pipe. So, like, it seems like 1 second goes by and they're not trying to kill him, and he immediately, like, plops his hand down. Are we good? Are we good? They're fucking sharks, asshole. What do you mean, are you good? And then he falls in and he's fine. And I'm like, I feel like sharks have this great ability to, like, sense fucking thrashing from a while away.
It's one of the things they do, I think.
He's fine, though.
He makes it away. Like, that's the kind of scene you can do if you have a distraction. if you like pointedly make it into a thing, but they don't have there's nothing happening like that. Nothing good. Any of the stuff that we're saying that sounds like it might be good is not good.
No,
those things are not happening.
There's one scene that I liked, but it's bad also.
Okay.
I liked the look of the shark. There's a practical shark like out of the water when he's doing like he's like, oh, I get a throat culture.
That's
and
good.
They put a block in its mouth that does literally nothing. What the fuck is the point of that block? It just bites like it had nothing in its mouth at all.
Well, it just holds it open so it doesn't have to hold it.
I think it's a safety precaution.
Yeah.
It didn't you could have literally put in like I don't know something that's shaped like an H sideways.
Oh, like a big denture.
Yeah, that just
like
holds
that?
it the fuck open. It's a
No,
shark.
I think it's literally just for convenience. I understand your point though, and then it like comes to or
It
something.
subverted my expectations a little bit where it did not bite his hand off. I'm like,
Right.
okay, that's something I guess.
But that's not like, oh, like she's so smart because she pretended to be knocked out.
No, the
It's
drugs just
like,
didn't work because
yeah,
she's
it's
now
just-
genetically altered.
Yeah, because your brain is enhanced, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of, I mean, the whole movie's a missed opportunity, but there's a lot of things like that where I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be, oh no, it's just nothing again.
I hate intelligence, how it's portrayed in movies. So like, you could be the smartest being in the world, but you don't just understand other people's things. Like you might be able to over time pick up language. That one I'll let him slide on. Maybe she speaks English. I don't know. But she understood what cameras were. She has no frame of reference for what a camera is. Why would she know what those are and attack them all? Oh, they're watching me. Like you would know like, oh, the fence hurts me. You might hear the humming from the generator and be like, attack that. See what happens.
Yes.
But cameras you wouldn't be like, all right. I know
No,
what
because
this
you
is.
need the scene from every movie where it's
Sure.
like the monitors start blinking out. They're taking out the cameras, and it's this big, yeah.
Almost as important as the titular scene, where our rich guy goes.
He drops the
"On
title."
Deep blue sea.
He drops the title.
They have trackers embedded in their fins. We can always find them, whether they're here or out in the deep blue sea.
Oh, that reminds me. The other greatest thing is the intro. So
Oh, the fake James Bond song.
I wrote down the intro is like James Bond with a sexy turtle. We can't play it for the song, I think, but the song is like turn my dreams into day and night. It's this crazy and then
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea is said many times.
But then it kicks up with the deep blue sea. It's this whole like it's
and the girl,
amazingly bad.
like in a Bond movie, is like fluttering across in her
where-
bikini or whatever.
Where she's like swimming with flippers on, and there's like harsh lighting from above, and it's like you can't see anything else. It has the vibe of a James Bond.
I was
intro.
like, this is ridiculous. What is
Once you
happening
hit
here?
that, you're just like, where am I? What's happening? And then it cuts to the turtle. There's like a turtle in the aquarium, and just made me laugh out loud at like. Because like
How
the
about
music's
the
kicking
drawing
in.
and quartering of the fucking the African guy who's like a fish soup or fin soup guy?
They're finners.
He fucking gets his arms and legs bit off, and he just like sinks to the bottom.
He's like Seamus from Family Guy. Who has the four
Yeah,
peg
yeah.
legs. That's immediately what I thought of. So like that is a point in the movie where I was like, oh, maybe it's ridiculous and it's gonna have weird gore like this throughout the entire time. There's like two finners, hashtag finning, going through the thing. They're obviously in a very deep and loving homosexual relationship. They take a
the one
selfie
guy
together.
a crazy cuck was like, what's his name, like Navu or something? He's
He
like,
keeps saying
oh,
his
Navu,
name.
Oh, you're crazy man, Navu. You're so powerful, Navu.
Yeah,
She's a fine taxi.
That's what I like to hear, brah.
Come, bro. Come, my bro. Help. Help me, my bro.
keeps saying his name and like gassing him up. I feel like they have a very strong relationship. That's his love language, Steph, and that's how it works out there. But yeah, then they just get duffed and get knocked over into the thing.
Yeah.
So in this scene, you see two important things. One is McShamus, drifting down, where I'm like, okay, maybe that's good. But the other one is the 5 fins in formation in the flying V,
which never gets explained.
Which looks like, because it is, they're just dragging something that's under the water, that they're all connected because they move exactly the same. And then when you see under the water, the CG shot, the sharks are not that close together. They're too big to be that close together. It's the goofiest thing in the world. It's choice. It's like, okay. So I thought I was in the in for some fun. We were gonna do something fun now, and we did not.
There's a deleted scene for that opening beginning where you see like his hand like on the bottom of the ocean, and his phone like drifts down.
You see the selfie?
And it's the selfie.
Does it look like shit?
Well, it looks like shit because his arm is on the ground. I'm like, okay, so the sharks just like bit the arm off and let it fall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did they come in straight on so they could just bite the arm off and just gag it out? Like, I hate movies. Injury stuff, because like I loved when they said it was the babies, because when you first see that lawyer, I'm like, what the fuck could have done that?
Yeah.
He's mildly like,
Was
what?
he cursed by
Could
a
the shark
pirate's
even
gold?
fit in that hallway? Like,
Yeah,
what
exactly,
are you doing?
exactly.
They have a little callback to the first movie where like it's like rule 1, don't pee into the wind. Like rule 2, blah blah blah.
Never tug on Superman's cape.
That piss into the wind thing is
Yeah.
like that genius. You mean the one pissing into the wind?
There's Dr. Jim Whitlock, the most brilliant man ever.
He's pissing into the wind. How brilliant can he be?
You'll see.
The first movie is so star-studded.
We got LL Cool J.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson.
And his song is way better. My hat is like a shark's fin.
He's a song in the movie? What does that mean?
LL Cool J does the ending song of
He
the movie.
did the Will Smith where he made a song for the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so dumb.
And it's like something, something. My hat is like a shark's fin. Something, something. My hat is like a shark's fin.
That's the hook?
That's the hook.
I'm messing up your pool party. I'm pretending to be a shark. That's amazing. Okay.
But like it is as like bad as this song, but way better because it's an actual
like
talented
that's.
person.
I mean,
making
the
a song.
amount of money, the scope of the set.
Yes, it's
the original
dramatically
movie.
different. The sharks look
Yeah.
way better in this movie than they did in that movie. That one suffers from being, it's like 20 years old.
The CG in like the famous scene where Samuel Jackson
Yeah.
gets eaten is like, that's so rough. Oh no, it looks
When
so
I first
bad.
saw it though,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
We
crazy how your
we didn't know any better.
perception shifts.
Yeah.
Like watching like an N64 game going, this is like, what? Is this a game?
It's like
or is
real
that the
li-
real, I can't tell. It's raining.
I remember doing that to like my mom. It's like real life, and she's like, "It is not. That is not real life. Like you're an idiot." And I'm like, "Thanks, Mom. Yes."
I had to exhale before I talk about this.
I can't wait to hear what point this is.
Oh no, this place is 100% safe. Let me show you up topside. And he pushes the smartest guy in the facility.
Well, as Mr. Durant said, we have an extensive safety protocol, which...
Seriously?
Hey, this is relatively a giant facility based on how people get lost so much.
Yeah.
So like, there's like 4 employees.
Yeah, run by like 2 people.
Yeah. So like, the nerd guy gets pushed into the water, and at one point, a shark grabs him by his foot and pulls him down, toying with him, and puts the tiniest little scratches in his shoes.
Look at my freaking shoe, dude.
Like he's like what kind of shark was that? If a shark got a hold of only your shoe's coming off.
Your foot's breaking.
Like, what are you doing?
No, that's like a whole point of contention where he's like, he grabbed my foot this time, and it's like, no, you're imagining things. Like, look at my shoe, dog. Like,
Yeah.
it's all messed up.
But my issue is, so the first time he gets his shoe pulled, it's from directly below, which is kind of how sharks attack. But we do see the V, which I don't know, did you train them to attack in a V also?
Yes.
So regardless, wait another 5 seconds. And then he pushes the fucking button and they disperse just before him.
Come on, you guys! Come on! Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
And you're like, okay, what? Because if at any moment he would have been attacked right away, you would have lost the smartest guy on your fucking thing.
It's the
like,
dumbest thing in the world.
It's so stupid.
So 2 things. One, at the end, Tough Chick pushes Nerd into the
Yes,
water.
That's also
and
fucking ridiculous.
and
Feels good, right? Or
he goes, satisfying, isn't it?
It's for your own good.
Satisfying, right?
Shut up.
And that was, again, like bookends, the tone that I wanted the movie to whole thing be. Just be dumb, just be ridiculous. just be
That
fun
guy
with
was
it.
too serious
I know.
to play that part as a joke.
He needed to play it up like 10 times harder. Shark Wrangler has a keychain.
Yeah.
Where he hits the button. It's really just like a little LED light, but he hits the button, goes. It's like a little key fob,
Yeah.
which causes them to just, I guess, stop doing whatever they're doing. It's very like non-directional or something.
He uses it to make them follow him. He uses it to make them
yes.
stop. He's like, "Hey, good girl."
Yeah,
like
it's not like
it's a universal remote.
Right. It's like not giving them a shock to like deter them, but it's controlling them somehow. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how the whole thing works. And yes, you see that in the intro because you think, oh no, a new guy's here. The sharks are gonna kill him. You don't know who he is yet. He sees the like fisherman's boat. They come at him in the formation and he goes,
Yeah.
"Boop," and like a garage door, they just nope, we're not doing it. It's amazing. But like in the movie though, that should be the thing. Someone should like tear out their transponder, like Jurassic
Like
Park
Indominus
style.
Rex, yeah.
Or anything, right? Or like, he should be hitting the button, but it's not working or something like that. What's the finale of Durant's death? He screams underwater, which spooks the shark. But then
well,
the shark
I'm
comes
like,
back around.
he's been taking the juice. He can communicate.
He's one of them. Yeah, exactly.
But then he gets fucking attacked from below like a shark would attack, brings him out of the water, and like a pretty good, like, you know.
Also like
crunch.
Jurassic World, where it goes up. It's
Not too dissimilar.
Yeah, well, it has the, you know.
Yeah, the mosasaur.
Because it goes up and then it does the chomp.
I told you I was Bella's master!
Yeah.
And you see his facial expression change. That's all good. But yeah, he says, "I told you I was Bella's master," right? And then it doesn't work at all, right? Because he thought he could just scream at the shark. The whole concept of the dut thing is just abandoned, right?
How many sharks do you have? 5, including Bella.
How many do you have?
5, including Bella.
Yeah.
Why would you say it like that? 5.
We have to
We don't know
introduce
who Bella
that
is.
one of them is called Bella.
You didn't say anything. And you don't really ever see Bella with the other ones to be like, oh, how much bigger is she, or any of that shit.
There's no distinction made. Like, this movie's really about the baby sharks.
Yes,
right.
They do literally everything.
You should really have a ticking clock where the big sharks are like gonna be able to get out, right? They already got out, but like let's say you fixed that, and now they're trying it again, and they're doing something else.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're inside with a bunch of baby sharks, right? We have a bunch of baby sharks, but they all, but they always attack in a cartoon cloud of sharks. They're never separate. No one's ever just got 1 or 2 to deal with, because that could be realistic. You could kill 1 maybe, right?
Sure.
And then, oh no, there's a bunch more. The rest are coming. They're angry. Here, quick, shut the door, right?
You could probably kill a bunch of them, honestly.
Yes. But like you mentioned earlier, like he wanted this to be like a horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a horror movie with like things flooding, baby sharks in every nook and cranny, all these crazy things happening.
And not knowing if you're dealing with 1 or many is scary too. And if they
Just
were
seeing
traveling
the bubbles,
independently, there wouldn't be the bubbles. It wouldn't be that frenzy.
Or you'd see some and like not know how many, or there'd be like a whole thing, or like you open up a closet, some fall out. I don't know. Just do something with that, but it's such a waste because it might as well be, I don't know, a psychologist with a small knife. Like there's no difference between this villain and this is supposed to be about sharks, but you're just in there in these tubes with this cloud of death that's chasing you as like one thing the whole time. It's a waste.
To make them smart is one thing, but to make them like toy with people for no reason is so dumb. Like the one shark just spears a diver, just swims into him really fast. He gets knocked out and starts to drown.
We set that up. That's the bull shark maneuver.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's weird. No.
To then there not be a follow up of I'm gonna fucking bite you or something.
Yeah. You would have thought that like one does that and the other one eats him.
Yeah.
But again, we just have to serve the screenplay of like getting that guy back.
And you don't really ever have to deal with more than 1 shark at a time. It seems.
No, they're not up for
our
that.
fucking our sharkologist outswims a fucking shark.
Misty! Misty, come on! Don't look back! Don't look back! Come on! Come on! He's swimming!
In a very pathetic
She
scene.
swims it out and then takes like forever to get out. This is where like Lou Diamond Phillips would get his fucking leg bit, but she gets nothing.
Yeah.
Like there's no damage to like no one really gets injured in this movie and doesn't die. Like pretty much at all. And they're all these like really non-satisfying deaths painted by some horrible colored light. Which why wouldn't it be standardized? Why would like you're building a facility? Why wouldn't they all be one color?
I would do color coding.
But for what purpose?
I like colored lights.
They're emergency lights.
Uh-huh.
Like, it just seems.
No,
foolish.
I know. Yeah, like the one guy. So like the husband, where like he watched his wife die.
Yes.
I like some of his stuff where he's like, "Come on, we gotta go," and he's like, "Why? Just let me die. It's all over.
Yeah.
My life's over. I can't do this."
You gotta keep moving, right?
Why? Just let me go.
I'm not leaving you here.
Just let me die.
Right? And then he's like, "No, okay, come on. She would have wanted that. All like the usual BS." And and they go.
I hated his heel turn on that. Like later on, it's like I have to go. She'd want me to live.
They didn't make it.
I'm so sorry.
I have to live for her.
Yeah.
He gets fucking eaten in half by baby sharks.
He gets okay. So he ends up bitten in half, and it makes no sense because that's the wound from a big shark. But there's no big shark in that little thing.
A little shark even like falls off his body when they pull him up. You're like, come on.
Oh, was it? I thought it was like intestines.
There were intestines, but it was like one little like.
So they just ate him like you were like shredding some like documents. They just went from
I
the
guess
bottom
they
and did
ate
it.
his legs completely and kept going.
Yeah.
But like he didn't make a peep. Either he's like the toughest man alive and just keeps going up with his fucking body destroyed.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were eating my lower half.
Yeah,
yeah. So they hoist him up.
cold, weird.
And he's just got like an open gut thing happening.
Yeah.
Which I think was meant to be like whoa or something. So long
And they
story.
just drop his body back in there. Like we don't gotta give you a burial or anything.
One of them says he's done for. I'm like, do you think?
Shit, he's gone.
Do you think he's eaten up to like nipple height or something?
They had to put the top back on because like they were still coming up, and I'm like, do you know how water finds a natural level? It wouldn't just keep shooting up the top.
The sharks are smart, Stefan.
They're
You don't understand how
watermancers.
smart they are. Yes, it's called water bending.
So it's like a series of dumb things that like kind of happen in a chain of events here. I love the rich guy saying like, we have an NDA, you can't say shit. I'll tell him whatever. I'm like,
They'll hear about it from me. Don't forget, you signed an NDA.
NDAs don't work if you've committed crimes and people are dead.
Right.
Like, and even if they do, I don't give a shit. Like,
And that comes up multiple times. Did you sign it? Oh, I don't know what this is.
people
Oh,
just
this
don't
thing.
seem to know what NDAs are. Like, if anything remotely illegal happens, an NDA is null and void. It doesn't matter.
Even contracts, like you can't agree legally to do something that's like outrageous or bad. There's a whole branch of law for contract law where you go to court and say this contract sucks, and they go, nope, they avoid it or whatever. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Movies though.
But then we go into like the sharks are smart and the people are dumb. Or like the sharks attack a drone out of the air.
Oh, that scene's amazing because everybody reacts like, "Oh, we're done for." I'm like, he says, "Oh, they must have sent the drone to see if our distress call is real."
Must have sent a drone to see if my car was real.
We're here!
Hey!
Here!
Hey!
Right here!
Hey, we're down here!
And then shark jumps out of the water, eats it, and they all go, we can't catch a break.
Wouldn't
And I'm
that be a distress call?
That proves that it is real.
Why can't we catch a break?
Just one break! Hell, I take half a break!
And they are now on their way, I'm sure.
I would think.
Right?
And how far away could they possibly be if they can send a drone?
No one knows how.
Can't be that
No one
far.
knows how drones work either.
That's murderous because it wasn't like an airplane drone.
No.
It was a fucking regular helicopter drone.
Kids have drones now, and they make movies sometimes.
He has a goddamn key that will detonate the facility.
Give me the key. No. My work's too important to trust with a hothead like you.
Give me the goddamn key, or I swear to God, I will pry it from your fingertips and then throw you to the sharks.
Yeah.
And he keeps the failsafe explosion bit on the boat that the guy takes out all the time, seemingly.
What's that?
Remember what Aaron said about Durant being ultra paranoid about protecting his trade secrets?
Is it? Because he says like, "Give me the key." I thought.
He says, "Give me the key." The key is kept in his drawer. The drawer goes.
Just the key.
It goes from the drawer onto his neck.
But the thing that
the thing
key
you
goes
turn the key into is in the hold on the fucking motorboat.
Maybe everyone has those. Maybe everyone has the weird compact thing that you have to open up and turn the key or something.
But Jesus, that felt so dumb.
Very interesting.
And like, what is it exploding? Because it's supposed to be saving his data, from what I understand from piracy. Like, oh, I gotta blow up so no one can take my shit.
Yeah.
And somehow they're thinking that killed all the sharks. I'm like, 4 of the 5 large sharks are just in the water somewhere.
We don't know where
and
they
we don't
are.
know where the baby sharks are.
And they're no
and
longer
they killed
bound
the
by
big
anything.
shark by synchronized double shot of fucking
Flare guns?
momentum stopping flare guns. The shark is mid like flying at you. It's like
Yeah.
and just falls.
No,
and
it's the most
sinks.
amazing thing. They cut back to the two of them. They've been bonding, by the way. They're kind of Mr. and Mrs. Smithing. They have a nice
Kinda.
little moment where he's like, where she's like, "Oh, you don't suck," and he's like, "No, I don't suck." He's like, "Why are you here then?" "Oh, the money. We need that cashola, lady." Same reason as you. And they have a little bonding, and then they're kind of like back to back, like it's a fancy whatever.
God, that was
Ba-ting,
so
ba-ting,
dumb.
with flare guns that are literally meant to have knocked it out of the air and killed it, presumably.
They're like in
at
its
that
tongue.
moment.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like not in anything that like would
kinda
presumably
goes in
kill
there,
it.
yeah.
And
And
you can
like-
see the whole like the entirety of the flares like in its mouth like just smoking.
And well, like one of them's there, but one of them went a little deeper. And this would make sense if you had, woven in something like, oh, their scales are impenetrable and there's no way to like damage it. And then you shot it with something else, but in the mouth. and then I would have been like, a reason.
It just felt so lame.
It makes no sense at all.
Almost as lame as the button, where like they're at the beach and the babies and the mom are back at it
with the burned face, like Phantom of the Opera, right? She didn't even die. So yeah, I don't think any of the sharks died.
How would they have?
The explosions are only really seen topside, and I understand the budgetary thing or like something like that, but I don't know how. I think with no extra money, you can structure this differently so that the thing just cut to like the sharks bashing the like fence that's no longer like electrified, and then show them there, and then show like now our heroes can be farther away, and just show a huge CGI explosion, and don't show me all the details. But they had that stupid that stupid like floating set thing, and it's like, we can blow this up because we built it. They're actually telling us we have to blow it up because otherwise we have to break it down. It's gonna be more expensive, so we're just gonna show this blowing. It's choice dumb. It's choice bad.
Very. Yeah. The whole thing should have been like CG. You could have made a giant, huge compound. If you're saying this is the richest guy, they're not doing some covert illegal operation. This is his actual base. I don't think they are. Well, yes, they are doing illegal weird shit, but I mean, I think they are sanctioned to be where they are. It's not a top secret base. It's not like we're going to make it look like on the top it's just a floating boat, but really there's an elevator that takes you down to the
there's a public face that is doing like real things supposedly, but he's actually injecting brain juice or something. Yes.
Ugh. I've done it. I felt it. I just need a little more time to figure out how to make it last. Anything for the project, huh?
All right, this movie sucks. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Sharks can't do that. Can they?
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion